A woman with no love walks through a world that often defines her by the affection she receives, not the resilience she carries. She is seen as incomplete because she doesn't have a hand to hold, a name to take, or a heart calling her home. But she is not broken. She is not less. She is not forgotten. The world may not see her tears at night, or the ache she buries beneath her smile, but the one who created her knows every silent cry, every unspoken prayer, every shattered hope she gathers and hides behind her strength. She wakes up each morning and fights battles no one notices. She shows up for others while no one shows up for her. She gives her best when she feels empty inside. And even when love doesn't come knocking, she continues to be love. That's not weakness. That's power. That's grace in motion. When people withhold affection, when friends disappear, when promises are broken and loyalty fades, she doesn't crumble. She bends but doesn't break. Because her foundation is not built on the shaky grounds of human approval. Her core is anchored in something much deeper. They may say she's unloved. But what if she's being protected? What if the wrong hearts are being cleared from her path, so the right ones can finally find her? What if the loneliness she feels isn't punishment but preparation? A soul like hers can't be paired with just anything temporary. A heart that deep, that kind, that sincere. It needs something pure, something honest, something real. And sometimes, the waiting is the healing. Sometimes, the emptiness is the clearing of space for something sacred. She may not receive flowers or handwritten notes. She may not be called someone's everything. But she holds a kind of love that doesn't fade. The love that comes from the one who never leaves. That love whispers in her silence, catches her when she falls, and reminds her that she was not made to beg for love. She was made to be loved without conditions. She was made to rise when forgotten, to shine when overlooked, to grow when rejected. Her value isn't tied to who chooses her, but to who created her. And that love, the love from above, has never once left her side. A lack of love from people doesn't mean a lack of worth in the eyes of the Creator. It's easy to fall into the trap of measuring value based on how others treat us, how much affection we receive, or how many voices affirm our existence. When the world grows quiet and no one calls, when hearts turn cold and presence becomes absence, it can feel like you've lost something fundamental. But what if that silence isn't proof of worthlessness but a call to look deeper, higher, inward? People are flawed, inconsistent, easily distracted by their own chaos. Their love can be fleeting, conditional, even selfish. But your Creator is not like them. Your value was never placed in the hands of humans. It was written long before anyone praised or ignored you. You were chosen, shaped, and honored by the one who knows your soul beyond what the world can see. The Creator doesn't measure you by popularity or applause. He sees your hidden pain, your silent sacrifices, your unseen kindness. Even when you feel invisible to everyone else, you are fully seen by Him. You are not the reflection of their rejection. You are not the echo of their silence. You are the work of divine hands, and nothing about you is accidental. Every breath, every heartbeat, every tear you've cried in solitude has been known and counted. Sometimes, people walk away not because you weren't enough, but because they were never meant to stay. Sometimes the love you thought you needed is removed, so that you can discover the love that truly sustains. When people fail to love you, it doesn't erase your light. It doesn't weaken your soul. If anything, it directs you back to the source of unconditional love. The kind that doesn't fade with time or flaw. The kind that lifts you even when you're not performing. The kind that sees beauty in your scars and purpose in your pain. While human hearts change, divine love remains constant. And within that love lies your real worth, untouched by rejection, untarnished by loneliness. You don't need to be chosen by the crowd to matter. You were already chosen by the one who crafted the universe, and still thought the world needed one of you in it. True love starts with self-respect and faith, not external validation. When you seek love from others before establishing love within yourself, you become dependent on their approval, their attention, their words to feel whole. But the truth is, no one can pour into you what you refuse to believe about yourself. If you don't honor your worth, every compliment will feel like a lie. Every rejection will feel like destruction. Self-respect is the foundation of all meaningful love. It's the quiet declaration that you deserve kindness, boundaries, truth, and peace, even if no one else hands it to you. It's the strength to walk away when your heart is begging you to stay in a place that dishonors your soul. It's the courage to be alone rather than be disrespected. Faith takes that even further. Faith reminds you that you were not created to beg for love from the creation, but to understand your value through the one who created you. It keeps you steady when validation disappears, when no one sees your effort, when affection fades. It tells you that your worth is not a mirror held by others. It's a flame placed inside you by your Creator. And when you combine self-respect with faith, you become unshakable. You stop chasing people who only love you when it's easy. You stop changing yourself for temporary acceptance. You start protecting your heart like it's sacred because you understand that it is. External validation is a drug. It feels good, but it never lasts. It keeps you addicted to attention, approval, applause. But love rooted in self-respect and faith doesn't need to be loud. It doesn't beg to be seen. It glows quietly. It uplifts without controlling. It heals without demanding. It stands firm in knowing that you are already enough, with or without the words of others. The world teaches you to look outward for love. Faith teaches you to look inward and upward. And when you do, you begin to see that true love isn't found in someone completing you. It's found in someone joining you in your completeness. Would be, but that completeness must begin with how you see yourself, how you honor your soul, and how deeply you trust that what is meant for you will never require you to lose your dignity to keep it. When the world turns cold, divine love warms the soul. There are moments when everything around you feels distant. When the people you once leaned on become strangers, when familiar places feel empty, and conversations lose meaning, the warmth you sought from human connection disappears, leaving behind silence that echoes too loud. It's in these moments of emotional winter that you begin to realize how fragile worldly attachments can be. People change, hearts drift, promises break, the comfort of companionship fades when it's not rooted in something eternal. But the soul was never designed to survive on temporary warmth. It longs for something deeper. A something constant, something that doesn't vanish when the seasons of life shift. That something is divine love. Unlike human affection, divine love doesn't wait for you to be perfect. It doesn't walk away when you fall short. It's not based on appearance, status, or success. It remains, patiently, quietly, in the background of your chaos, waiting for you to return. In a world that often celebrates superficiality, divine love cuts through the noise and speaks directly to your soul. It reminds you that even when people forget you, you are still remembered. Even when no one asks how you're doing, there's a presence that knows exactly how you feel. Even when no arms hold you, you are still held by something greater. The coldness of the world can numb you to joy, to purpose, to love itself. But divine love has a way of reigniting the parts of you that have been frozen by disappointment. It whispers truth when lies scream louder. It reminds you of your worth when the world tries to diminish it. It fills the void that no human can truly reach. When your heart feels heavy and the tears come without invitation, divine love doesn't turn away. It draws nearer. It carries what you cannot. It softens what has hardened. It restores what's been broken slowly, gently, completely. The soul feels its warmth not in grand miracles but in subtle moments. A verse that speaks directly to your pain. A breeze that calms your chest. A silent prayer answered in the smallest of ways. This love doesn't always fix the world around you, but it transforms the world within you. It teaches you that being alone isn't the same as being abandoned, that being unseen isn't the same as being unloved, and that even in the coldest storms, there is still a fire that never goes out. You're not unloved, you're being protected from the wrong kind of love. It's easy to confuse rejection with unworthiness, silence with insignificance, and absence with abandonment, but not every closed door is meant to harm you. Not every person who walks away is a loss. Sometimes, the love that didn't stay was never meant to last. It may have been wrapped in sweet words and temporary warmth, but beneath the surface, it carried pain you couldn't see, wounds you didn't deserve, and distractions that would have led you away from your purpose. The love that leaves you isn't always cruel. Sometimes, it's the mercy you didn't realize you needed. Being protected doesn't always feel like safety. Sometimes it feels like loneliness, like heartbreak, like questioning your value because someone else didn't recognize it. But your worth isn't dependent on who failed to stay. Love that is wrong for you will never bring you peace, no matter how badly you wanted it to be right. It may have looked good on the outside, but true love doesn't confuse, belittle, manipulate, or drain. It doesn't ask you to shrink to be accepted. It doesn't make you feel like too much and not enough at the same time. What walked away may have taken pieces of your heart, but it also cleared space for something real, something aligned with who you truly are. The wrong kind of love teaches you lessons wrapped in tears. It exposes your wounds but also shows you where you need to heal. It makes you question everything. But it can also lead you to deeper clarity and strength you didn't know you had. Protection doesn't mean the pain didn't happen. It means there's a greater reason why it had to. What didn't work out wasn't a reflection of your inadequacy. It was a redirection toward something better. The delays in love are not denials of your worth. They're divine pauses, allowing you to unlearn toxic patterns, reset your standards, and remember who you are outside of someone else's affection. The love you were denied may have saved you from years of heartache, compromise, and emotional exhaustion. What you call loneliness now may be the very shield guarding your future from damage. You weren't rejected because you were unlovable. You were removed from a path that could never give you the love your soul was designed for. Loneliness is often the quiet preparation for something greater. It doesn't always feel that way in the moment. It feels like emptiness, like stillness that stretches too far, like won'ts where, like waiting without answers and waking up to silence that wraps itself around you like a weight. But there is something sacred in the space where everyone else has left and only your thoughts remain. That space becomes a mirror, showing you what you've been running from, where warmth should be, what you've been hiding beneath business, noise and distraction. Loneliness strips away the background noise of the world and forces you to face the voice that matters most. The one inside you and the one that created you. You begin to see that not every separation is loss, not every isolation is punishment. Some seasons are designed to pull you away from the crowd, so you can hear the call meant only for you. Greatness isn't birthed in comfort or constant companionship. It often emerges from solitude, from long nights where you wrestle with doubt, from quiet days where nothing seems to change, yet everything inside you is shifting. Loneliness isn't the absence of love, it's the presence of transformation. It's where resilience is built, where vision becomes clearer, and where your soul gets realigned with its higher calling. In those silent moments, you discover parts of yourself you never noticed when you were surrounded by people. You begin to nurture dreams that once felt too far away. You start healing wounds that were too loud to feel before. You realize that growth isn't always loud or visible. Sometimes it's subtle, buried in the process of being alone, and still choosing to move forward. Loneliness teaches you how to be your own companion, how to stand on your own feet, how to find joy that doesn't depend on someone else's presence. The discomfort of being alone often signals that something deeper is being prepared for you. It might be clarity, it might be peace, it might be strength, or it might be a love more whole than anything you've experienced. But whatever is coming needs the space that loneliness creates. It needs the empty room so it can be filled with something meaningful. You're not forgotten in this season. You're being refined, shaped, and strengthened for what you cannot yet see. Healing comes from rising spiritually, not chasing emotionally. The instinct to reach outward when broken is strong. The heart wants answers, the mind wants closure, and the soul aches to be seen, heard, and held. But the more you chase what left, the further you drift from what can truly heal you. Emotional chasing creates illusions. The idea that someone else holds the remedy, that if they just came back, said the right words, or gave the right apology, everything would make sense again. But healing doesn't wait on their return. It doesn't depend on their guilt or their growth. Real healing is born in stillness, in surrender, in reaching upward instead of outward. Spiritual rising begins when you stop blaming life for the pain, and start searching for the purpose within it. When you start asking what this moment is trying to teach your soul, not just your feelings. When you pray not just to escape the hurt, but to grow through it. The moment you stop begging for love that's inconsistent and start anchoring yourself in divine love, the shift begins. You start seeing yourself not through the lens of loss, but through the eyes of the one who never left you. The soul, the heart, doesn't find peace in temporary emotions. It finds peace in eternal truths, in sacred connection, in trust that what is broken is being rebuilt in ways you can't yet understand. Chasing emotionally leaves you exhausted, always wondering, always doubting, always waiting for something or someone to come fix the void inside. But spiritual rising teaches you to stand even when you feel like falling. It teaches you that peace can exist in the middle of unanswered questions. That strength doesn't mean being unaffected but being unshaken. It's the quiet power of knowing you are held by something far greater than the one who hurt you. When you rise spiritually, you stop needing constant reassurance. You stop replaying the past to rewrite it. You stop seeking validation from those who couldn't see your worth. You begin to trust the silence, respect the process, and find comfort in the unseen hand guiding you through the storm. Healing, real healing, isn't about erasing the pain but about letting it transform you into someone wiser, softer, and stronger without depending on emotional crumbs from people who were never meant to hold your healing in the first place.